Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, June the 21st, 2024. Listen, Finn has hit rock bottom or almost rock bottom. He jars himself awake, drunk, and he looks and he sees the bottle of vodka or whatever it is, gin, and he sees blood on the little coffee table and he sees blood on his hand and he's like what's happening, and he tries to and he swigs the bottle, right, and then he tries to get on his knees because he's seeing where that blood come from, slips, almost hits his head on the side of the coffee table. Glass is all over the floor. I guess he threw a glass and broke it, but it broke right there at the coffee table versus against the wall. When he slips, he falls all in the broken glass. He had cut his hand some more, and he tries to, no, when he slipped, he got a sliver of glass in his hand. So he gets it out and he pours alcohol on it. And he's like, ow. And then as he's trying to collect himself, that's when he just falls and just passes out on the ground, right? Well, Maxie brought Charlotte home. She said, I got to take Charlotte home. So my thing is, I don't know who that was that walked Charlotte to the door because it wasn't Maxie. I don't know if it was the doorman, although that ain't safe this day and age, right? But somebody that was Charlotte knew, and I'm sorry, I'm saying Charlotte. Violet knew, because I'm thinking of Valentine. Violet knew, and she opened the door and said, thank you. And she closes the door. She turns and she looks and she sees her father on the ground. And that poor child, my heart just sunk for her. She's like, Daddy, Daddy. And she runs over and she sees the blood on the coffee table. She sees the glass on the coffee table. She sees blood on his hand, and she's trying to wake him, and he would not wake up. Violet is frantic, and I'm frantic for her because I'm like, oh my God, she's seeing this, right? She picks up his phone that's on the coffee table, and Tracy had been, calling. So the last thing she saw on the screen was a missed call, like three missed calls from Tracy. She just pushes the button and it calls Tracy. And she's laying into Finn, and Violet goes, I think my daddy is dead. My dad, no, she goes, my daddy is hurt. I think my daddy is dead. And Tracy's like, Violet, what's going on? He's on the ground. I can't wake him. And there's blood. And Tracy's like, I'll be right there. And she's thinking, okay, so she calls 911 so that they could be on their way. She then heads over there. She gets there first. And Violet, I don't know if Tracy just walked in. I don't know that Violet locked the door behind her. I don't think she had time because she saw Finn. Because Tracy comes in and she's like, I can't wake him. I can't wake him. And Tracy's surveying the room. And she says, okay, there's a almost empty bottle of booze. She's seeing the broken glass. She does see his hand is cut. And she goes, Violet, honey, Violet, listen. The paramedics is on its way, but I think he's dead. She goes, no, they're coming though. I need you to go by the door and let them in when they get here, okay? So she's looking at Finn and she's thinking, you're a stupid doggone behind. You're drunk, right? Paramedics come in, and Tracy says his daughter found him this way on the floor and she called me. So they're looking, checking his vitals. And the paramedic told Tracy, being drunk or being intoxicated and having a cut on your hand is not an emergency. And so Tracy looks, she goes, I know. However, she found him and could not wake him. She called me. I didn't know what the situation was, so I called you. And they look like, yeah, okay, that was, the right chain of events, right? So Tracy says, listen, I have to get her out of here because she doesn't need to know anything else. I will be back. And they're just looking, taking care of his hair. And they're like this. And I'm thinking, you guys gonna bill him? Come on now. You call the ambulance to somebody's house, that person is getting a bill. So you're gonna bill him? So anyway, Tracy takes him to Chase and Brooklyn's house. And they had their first home cooked meal as husband and wife with everything going on, and they were having wine. And they see the door, and Brooklyn's like, "Oh my goodness, we were just talking about you, Violet, and here you are. We miss you." Oh, so she knew something was up if Tracy was bringing her. So, they look at so Tracy says something. Oh, Violet had a little scare, a little mishap. So I thought I'd bring her here, right? And so Brooklyn says, Violet, let's go in the back. Oh, I made some apple pie. Let's go get some. So she takes Violet to the kitchen, and Tracy tells Chase he's out cold, broken glass everywhere, blood, hand is cut. And Violet thought he was dead. And Tracy finished. Chase is like, oh no. She says it's heartbreaking. And so she goes, the paramedics are still working on him. I'm going to go back. They're still tending to his cut. I'm going to go back there. And Chase is like, no, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you. And Tracy says, no, you need to reassure Violet. You and Brooklyn pack up Violet and take her to my house. She said, it's larger. She'll have her own room. Aside from the fact if Finn wakes up, which he will, he might come over here banging on your door. You don't need Violet to hear that. You don't need it at all. He goes, you're right. You're right. She goes, so you get her out of here. I'm going to go back and I'm going to handle Finn. And he goes, but I feel as his brother she goes, no. What I'm going to say to Finn, his brother cannot say to him, but I sure can. And Chase just looks at her and he goes, okay. Tracy goes back. She has Violet's keys. The paramedics bandaged him up and they were out of there. Left him still passed out cold in a chair now. They picked him up off the floor. And she's like, oh. So she goes and she's kicking his feet and Finn ain't budging. He is not waking up. So Tracy picks up her phone and she starts taking pictures of the whole room. Pictures of Finn laid out in the chair, blood, pictures of everything. And as she's taking them, she's crying because Finn is her friend. His father was her friend, but Tracy's doing what's necessary. So then Tracy comes out the back room with Violet's suitcase packed and Finn's medical bag. She took that little thing, when they break the stick and wake you up. She did that. And Finn snapped, what is going on? What? And so she walks in front of him. He goes, where? And he looks at the room. Where's Violet? Where's my daughter? Tracy looks at him. She said, Violet is gone. And she is not coming back. Woo! And Finn looks at her. So Monday's episode is going to be some firecracker, and Tracy is going to be Tracy Quartermain. We need that get things done, the hammer Tracy Quartermain, and that's exactly what she's going to be on Monday. She's going to lay him out. She's probably going to show him the pictures, and she's going to tell him, you're going to go into rehab, or she's probably going to try to blackmail him, but we'll see. Tracy, that was her. That used to be her. So it was good scenes and heart-wrenching what Violet had to go through. Man. So then we have, who do I want to go to? Sam? Sam goes to Carly. I know why Jason chose to leave us for this time. I know the evidence that the FBI has on him. And so Carly sits down at her desk and Sam pushes the button. And she goes, and when you hear it, I know you're going to want to make this all about you. And Carly just looks at her like, wait, what do you mean by that? Right? She goes, but it affects so many more people than just you. Listen, and Sam plays it. So then, of course, they go to other scenes. They go to Eats. Oh, his awkwardness coming in, talking to Jason, demanding, I know Anna was here. What did you talk about? And I know you had the sister record it. Jason said, if it's one thing I don't do, is I don't record conversations. Never have, never will. And so he's like, well, you have to get this evidence. You got to close this case. And I'm like, what you doing, man? You the authority. You coming into a civilian, blackmailing him to close a case for you. Wow. Right? So Jason, before Kate got there, yes, he was talking to Anna, and Anna saying, look, I got this. I'm going to get the information on Valentine because he loves me, and that gives me the advantage. And Jason's just looking at her. Right? So anyway, Kate doesn't get anything from Jason. So he then goes to Carly. Sam is already gone. Carly now knows what John Cates has over Jason. And wait, let's get back to Sam. Sam has the nerve to tell her, see, Jason left for you, an adult who chose to step in to the mob organization, who chose to do this. And Carly says, okay, for one, that was me. And then there were 5 other families there. And then she realized, wait a minute, why do I got to explain this to Sam? She goes, wait, where did you get this from? Well, Spinelli, I had him hack into the FBI because I wanted a database. I wanted to know what they had on Jason. We were going to try to delete it or just, destroy, corrupt the file. But we used John Cates's credentials that, we stole from him. She just told all her criminal activities to Carly, right? And she says, but Cates does not have the clearance to delete or alter the file. So the only thing Spinelli could do was play it again and record it onto another device. And Carly just looked at her. And then Sam is like, see, so Jason did this to protect you. Never mind his children, my child, Elizabeth and her child. He did all this for you. Carly says, for one thing, I didn't know Jason did this for me. But Jason would, she's like, and I would do it for him. I mean, she's like, and she's shocked. She's still trying to wrap her head around, it's me they're using as leverage. So Sam says whatever she's going to say. And, she goes, and of course you condone his actions. And Carly just looks at her like, girl, please get out my office, right? Just get out. So Sam walks out and I'm thinking, man, let her get hit by a truck on the way out. But anyway, then John Cates comes in like a half hour later and she goes, FBI agent Cates or special agent Cates. And he says, I've come bearing gifts. And he brings out an expensive bottle of champagne from, downstairs. He goes, I know your hotel sells it, but this is one of the most expensive bottles. And I've charged this to my room. She says, I'm surprised you didn't charge it to the FBI. She goes, he says, who do you think's paying for my room? So she's just looking, and in her eyes, you're seeing she's looking daggers at him, but not letting him catch on. And she goes, so what is the occasion? He goes, because my case is coming to an end. I've almost solved the case, and the person will be brought to justice. And she goes, person. By you saying person, I kind of denotes what? Is it female? And he goes, I can't say. She goes, okay. He goes, but yeah, the person is going to come to justice at like they, which is what they deserve. Carly thinks he's talking about her, which, okay, rightfully so, I would too. But he's actually talking about Anna. So Carly's thinking, you are in my office, getting me to drink with you, and you're trying to build a case against me, and you're blackmailing my best friend. Even though if she were to think it out, for one thing, Kate could not blackmail Jason to get any evidence against Carly. Carly doesn't know she's the leverage, but the way Kate was talking, it was almost like he's taunting her, right? So we'll see how that situation ends. I can't stand Kate. We have Anna, who is the worst to me. She comes in, and Valentine goes to get an expensive bottle of wine to go with dinner. And he goes, I'll be right back. And she goes, take your time. And I thought, who says take your time when you don't trust each other? She proceeds to go looking through his little offsuit office, his bookcase. And I said, now here's one thing. Valentine would have cameras. I mean, who wouldn't? Why wouldn't you? Anna's coming over. You can't trust her. Why wouldn't you? So when he comes back, she's back into the living room area, pretending to be looking at books at the bookcase. And she goes, I know I claim, not to be a read woman or read a lot of books, but I was reading all the titles of the books you have. And he goes, did you find what you're looking for? And she looks at him and she goes, interesting book collection. See, that's when she tries to change it. And I said, you know what? No, he was watching her. He was watching her absolutely positively. Okay. So they go and they have a good dinner and they come back in. Opens up another bottle of one to help digestion. And they're talking about what a great evening they had. And he was telling her how much he loves her and wants, them to have another chance. And she was just saying, I have to admit, I miss you too. But you know what? I have a busy day tomorrow and I need to go. And he goes, not right now. And so, they're just making out, kissing on the couch, just making out. He wants her to stay. And Jason is peeking in the window at all this. And Jason is kind of like, she's all in this. She's not even thinking rationally. Oh, she's saying this is all a part of it, but that is Anna was not kissing that man like this is all a part of it at all. So that is it. Oh, then one of the last scenes, Maxie and Spinelli were talking. She was saying some concerns she had where Violet was concerned. And there's a knock on the door. Sam comes. I'm sorry to be, coming so late. It's like, oh, rude, right? But can I speak to Spinelli? And Maxie's like, okay, I owe my kids kisses goodnight anyway. And he goes, Fair Samantha, dare I ask, what did you do with the recording? I went to go see Carly. And Spinelli just looked at her and said, okay, I could see where you would do that. And so he goes, and what did you find? She said, Carly's a good liar. But she didn't know what was going on. She didn't know this was the evidence. I could tell by the expression on her face. So Carly had no clue that, excuse me, going down my throat. She is the reason that Jason's been away. And so it kind of left them with Sam still being salty and just horrible. And Spinelli is trying to talk to her. So I'm sure we'll pick that up again on Monday. So that's it. That's the daily recap of General Hospital. Let's go to comment corner. Comment corner. All right, we got Denzel up front. Denzel says, yes, Sam has the right to be upset at Jason, but she's going overboard with it. She's just jealous of Jason and Carly's friendship for years. Or yeah. Now I wish she would have accepted the cash in the briefcase and have just left Port Charles a long time ago. But even refused to stay because she was pregnant. Well, she chose to stay because she was pregnant with Sonny's child at that time, blah, blah, blah. And guess what? Sonny dumped her like a hot potato to get back with Carly and pushed her over on Jason to look out for her. Yeah. That's how Jason and her had to be in such close proximity, because Jason had that penthouse and Sonny moved her into there, or told Jason to take her in. Um, she didn't mind Jason's lifestyle way before, with the shooting at his penthouse and having his baby that she always wanted with Jason. Now she's saying his life is dangerous. Um, you was into danger before, Sam, shaking my head. Yes, she was, and she still is. Now she's gonna have Carly listen to the recording, what Jagger told Jason about Carly and the RICO charges. Now Sam is so naive, I'm telling you. Jason would have done the same for Sam, Spinelli, Sonny, including Liz, um, his first baby mama. Would have saved and risked his life for the RICO charges and danger, including his kids too. Sam is so naive. I can't stand her anymore. She needs to get slept. Do you mean slapped? To get slapped? And Spinelli is too a wimp for giving Sam the second recording where Jagger was telling Jason that Carly was getting arrested for those RICO charges. Great review and recap. Well, thank you, Denzel. Great job yourself. Lynn says G. Who high? Okay. And user OC says Sabrina had a son with Carlos Rivera. Did she? I think she did. And that son ended up going to live with her family. I think so. Patty says Dex looks ridiculous in a uniform. It's too small. It looked goofy. It did look a little small and tight, right? User OC says Elizabeth did the right thing by Portia that Finn was drinking. You mean by telling Portia Finn was drinking? Linda says, I am realizing that Sam is still in love with Jason, and she is working hard to hurt Jason because Sam can't have him. I know. Yes, Sam is jealous of Carly because Sam is realizing Jason loves Carly. Well, heck, he buried her, right? Sonny just happened to not be dead. Why is Sam so against Jason and treats Sonny like Sonny has not done anything wrong? It's because Sam's still deeply in love with Jason. I hope Sam doesn't get Jason back. No, I hope not either. As much as I used to love Sam and Jason, at this point, I would rather see Jason and Elizabeth just to in your face, Sam, because that would get her even more. His first child's mother, they're a family. Yep. Dante is no fool. I hope Jason and Carly turn at love happens. Wait, I hope Jason and Carly's turn at love happens, because they are so much more than friends, and let them be a beautiful power couple. I would the best one I do want to see with Jason is Carly. Wendy says, Sam is just livid that once again, Jason is always going to pick Carly. When she was with Sonny, he chose Carly over her. She's super jealous, just like Nina, and she may act out like Nina, yet she loves Dante so much. Yeah, right. I know. Isn't that right? Aisha says, apparently there was some point to Carly's rambling on about the downside of Drew running for office. After all, Jason told Anna that much media attention, will cancel out his usefulness to Kate. Sabrina was pregnant on the show, and Michael believed it was his until Monica saw a scan and commented on the pregnancy being further along than Sabrina claimed. After her murder, her son went to a foster home with Tracy. Really? I don't remember that. I have forgotten that those women were friends. Eventually, a Puerto Rican relative, I thought it was a relative, either Sabrina or Carlos's, I think it was Sabrina's, showed up to claim the child. I am says Sabrina Santiago and Patrick's son Gabriel fought for his life in the hospital for several weeks and ultimately died. Oh, yeah. I remember she was pregnant with Patrick. The death of their child caused Sabrina to have a breakdown, and Patrick struggled to get her to face reality. I am says clarity. Sabrina and Carlos's son, Teddy. Teddy was born on screen in January 28, 2016, to mobster Carlos Rivera and nurse Sabrina Santiago, and was delivered by his father. Sabrina went into labor while on the run with Carlos, and her baby gave her baby naturally, must mean and had her baby naturally, to a silent baby. I don't get that part. Tracy named Teddy after Edward. Teddy's uncle Joe his Uncle Joe took him back to Puerto Rico. I am says, so the tape not being allowed to be destroyed or deleted means Jason will be an FBI agent. I don't know about he'll be an FBI agent, right? I am says Finn is off of work, not on the hospital property. I'd quit too. Okay. But now look at him now. This was just an excuse to do what he's doing. Wendy says, yeah, they should have watched him because he had not done anything. Even though he's out of control, he's going to emotionally hurt Violet by his selfishness. Yeah, they should have. You know what? I'm not going to cast any judgment on what Portia and Terry, the decision they made, because remember, it hasn't even been a full year when Finn was being sued by the hospital, by that fake fraudulent lawsuit. But, this time it would be something that Finn actually did, if he continued to go down that road. So, anyway, that's it, everybody, for Comment Corner. Comment Corner. Everybody go on in and read the rest of those comments. I will be back Monday for the next daily recap of General Hospital.